Shalom, shalom. Today will be Zechariah 1 through 5. In the 8th new moon of the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Yahweh came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo the prophet, saying, Yahweh was very wroth with your fathers. And you shall say to them, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, Turn back to me, declares Yahweh of hosts, and I shall turn back to you, declares Yahweh of hosts. Do not be like your fathers, to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, Turn back now from your evil ways and your evil deeds. But they did not obey or give heed to me, declares Yahweh. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my laws, which I command my servants the prophets, did they not overtake your fathers? Then they turned back and said, As Yahweh of hosts planned to do to us, according to our ways and according to our deeds, so he has done with us. On the 24th day of the 11th new moon, which is in the new moon of Shevat, in the 2nd year of Darius, the word of Yahweh came to Zechariah, son of Berechiah, son of Iddo the prophet, saying, I looked at night and saw a man riding on a red horse, and he was standing among the myrtle trees in the shade, and behind him were horses, red, sorrel, and white. And I said, My master, what are these? And the messenger who was speaking to me said to me, Let me show you what they are. And the man who stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, They are the ones Yahweh has sent to go throughout the earth. And they answered the messenger of Yahweh, who stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have gone throughout the earth, and see, all the earth is at peace and rest. And the messenger of Yahweh answered and said, O Yahweh of hosts, how long would you have no compassion on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which you were enraged these 70 years? And Yahweh answered the messenger who talked to me, Good words, comforting words. And the messenger who spoke with me said to me, Proclaim, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, I have been jealous for Jerusalem and for Sion with great jealousy, and I am very wroth with the nations who are at ease. For when I was a little wroth, they furthered the evil. Therefore thus said Yahweh, I shall return to Jerusalem with compassion. My house shall be built in it, declares Yahweh of hosts, and a surveyor's line be stretched out over Jerusalem. Again proclaim, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, Again my city shall overflow with goodness, and Yahweh shall again comfort Sion, and shall again choose Jerusalem. And I lifted up my eyes, and looked, and saw 4 horns. And I said to the messenger who was speaking to me, What are these? And he said to me, These are the horns that have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And Yahweh showed me 4 craftsmen. And I said, What are these coming to do? And he spoke, saying, These are the horns that scattered Judah, so that no one lifted up his head, but these come to trouble them, to throw down the horns of the nations that lifted up their horn against the land of Judah to scatter it. And I lifted up my eyes and looked, and saw a man with a measuring line in his hand. And I said, Where are you going? Excuse me. And he said to me, To measure Jerusalem, to see what its width and what is its length. And see, the messenger who was speaking to me was going out, and another messenger was coming out to meet him. And he said to him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem is to remain unwalled, because of the many men and livestock in it. For I myself am to her, declares Yahweh, a wall of fire all around, and for a steam I am in her midst. Oh, and flee from the land of the north, declares Yahweh. For I have scattered you like the 4 winds of the heavens, declares Yahweh. O Sion, escape, you who dwell with the daughter of Babel. For thus said Yahweh of hosts, For the sake of esteem he sent me to the nations which plunder you. For he who touches you touches the apple of my eye. For look, I am waving my hand against them, and they shall become spoil for their servants. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Sion, for look, I am coming, and shall dwell in your midst, declares Yahweh. And many nations shall be joined to Yahweh in that day, and they shall become my people, and I shall dwell in your midst, and you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me to you. And Yahweh shall inherit Judah, his portion in the set apart land. He shall again choose Jerusalem. Hush, all flesh, before Yahweh, for he has roused himself out of his set apart dwelling. And he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the messenger of Yahweh, and Satan standing at the right hand to be an adversary to him. And Yahweh said to Satan, Yahweh rebuke you, Satan. Yahweh, who has chosen Jerusalem, rebuke you. Is this not a brand plucked from the fire? And Joshua was dressed in filthy garments, and was standing before the messenger. And he answered and spoke to those who stood before him, saying, Remove the filthy garments from him. And to him he said, See, I have removed your guilt from you, and you shall put costly robes on you, and shall put costly robes on you. And I said, Let them put a clean turban on his head. And they put a clean turban on his head, and they put garments on him, and the messenger of Yahweh stood by. And the messenger of Yahweh witnessed to Joshua, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, If you walk in my ways, and if you guard my duty, then you shall also rule my house, and also guard my courts, and I shall give you access among these standing here. Now listen, Joshua the high priest, you and your companions who sit before you, for they are men of symbol. For look, I am bringing forth my servant, the branch. See the stones which I have put before Joshua. On one stone are 7 eyes. See, I am engraving its inscription, declares Yahweh of hosts, and I shall remove the guilt of that land in one day. In that day, declares Yahweh of hosts, you shall invite one another under the vine and under the fig tree. And the messenger who was speaking to me came back and woke me up as a man is awakened from sleep. And he said to me, What do you see? So I said, I have looked, and see, a lampstand all of gold with a bowl on top of it, and on the stand 7 lamps with 7 spouts to the 7 lamps. And 2 olive trees are by it, one at the right of the bowl, and the other at its left. Then I responded and spoke to the messenger who was speaking to me, saying, What are these, my master? And the messenger who was speaking to me answered and said to me, Do you not know what these are? And I said, No, my master. And he answered and said to me, This is the word of Yahweh to Zerubbabel, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yahweh of hosts. Who are you, great mountain, before Zerubbabel? A plain, and he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of favor to it. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, and his hands shall complete it. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me to you. For who has despised the day of small beginnings? They shall rejoice when they see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel. These 7 are the eyes of Yahweh, which diligently search throughout all the earth. Then I responded and said to him, What are these 2 olive trees, one at the right of the lampstand and the other at its left? And I responded a second time and said to him, What are these 2 olive branches with empty golden oil from them, which empty golden oil from themselves by means of the 2 gold pipes? And he answered me and said, Do you not know what these are? And I said, No, my master. And he said, "These are the two anointed ones who stand beside the master of all the earth." And I lifted up my eyes again and looked and saw a flying scroll. And he said to me, "What do you see?" And I answered, "I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits long and 20 cubits wide." And he said to me, "This is the curse that goes forth over the face of all the earth. Everyone who is stealing shall go unpunished, on one side according to it, and everyone who has sworn falsely shall go unpunished, on the other side according to it. I shall send it out, declares Yahweh of hosts, and it shall come into the house of the thief and the house of the one who shall swear falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it, both its timber and stones." And the messenger who was speaking with me came out and said to me, "Lift up your eyes now, and see what this is that is going forth." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "It is an ephah measure that is going forth." And he said, "This is their appearance throughout the earth. And see a lead cover lifted up, and this, a woman sitting inside the ephah measure." And he said, "This is wrongness." And he threw her down into the ephah measure, and threw the lead weight over its mouth. And I lifted up my eyes and looked, and saw two women coming with the wind in their wings. And they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah measure between earth and the heavens. Then I said to the messenger who was speaking to me, "Where are they taking the ephah measure?" And he said to me, "To build a house for it in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there on its own base." Ooh, these always make me want to keep going. But we'll save it for next time. Let's see real quick. "Do not be like your fathers, to whom the former prophets proclaimed, saying, Thus said Yahweh of hosts, Turn back now from your evil ways and your evil deeds. But they did not obey or give heed to me." Turn, repent. I'm interested. I mean, there's a new Jerusalem at some point, and I thought that's what we were about to do. But it's a beautiful concept that will be, and potentially is. I mean, I'm not going to war with Israel. You know what I mean? I'm not a fool. But anyway, "For I myself am to her the wall, declares Yahweh, a wall of fire all around, and for esteem I am in her midst." He will be, just as he is now, our protector. I think this Yehoshua, in the second year of Darius, in the 8th moon of the second. Yep, same Joshua, the high priest. Yep. So same Joshua from here. This is them all getting ready to go and leave exile to a degree. Right. I mean, obviously we get instructions or semi-instructions for Zerubbabel to build the temple. It's always, it's we always start out really good, and then it just kind of goes downhill. This is like their, I don't know, their reset, if you would, back to coming out of Egypt, or back coming out of Mitzrayim, even though it's coming out of Babel, technically. Yeah. Makes me sad because I know where we go from here. I know what the rest of this looks like. We're getting mighty close to what I know. Let's see. Even though Joshua, even though Zechariah is witnessing this, Joshua talking to God, and he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the messenger of Yahweh, and Satan standing at his right hand to be an adversary to him. He was going to have a hard time. He's going to have a hard time because they're going to want to bring back a lot of your people are going to want to bring back what they've been doing. Well, that's not what we've been doing. Why do you think we got here in the first place? Because we were doing what we were doing, basically. The lampstand of gold, it's a menorah. So it's a menorah with 2 olive trees. I miss where the golden pipes were inserted. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this may be prophecy to Messiah. The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, and his hand shall complete it. And you shall know that Yahweh of hosts has sent me to you. Now he may very well have completed it, but at the same time, it may be, prophecy words. I'm looking pretty deep right now, and that's not what I have been doing, so we're not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to look real quick, see if I find anything else. Oh, right, the olive trees and the golden branch. These are the 2 anointed ones who stand beside the master of all the earth. I would have to assume Moses and Elijah. This is also interesting because chapter 5, because at least for me, it always seems like you see people doing not good or not the best, and they get more from what they're doing, even though you're putting in more, you're getting less. It kind of makes sense. What do you see? I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits long, 20 cubits wide. Well, this is the curse that goes forth over the face of all the earth. Everyone who is stealing shall go unpunished. That's what it says on one side, and on the other side, everyone who has sworn falsely shall go unpunished. And then God's like, I'll send it out. And it shall come into the house of the thief, and the house of the one who shall swear falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it, both its timber and stones. Don't swear falsely. Even though there may be gain in this world, you may lose the next. Yeah. Till tomorrow. May Yahweh bless you and guard you. May Yahweh make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them. Shalom, shalom. Okay, if you're still here, I'm just gonna go to Matthew real quick. Just want to see if Zerubbabel's in the line, because he should be theoretically, if I'm not mistaken. After the exile, yep, there he is, brought forth Zerubbabel. Yep, because Messiah has to be king, because Judah was given kingship by Jacob. Yeah, I got it. Anyway, love you. Bye.